Okay, good morning to each and everyone. Welcome to the Private Conference for Civil Works Project, 8 Civil Works Project. So to begin with, we'll begin with the invocation to be led by Ma'am Joy Superior with that. And it will be followed by a roll call by Madam Potre Nahar in Baragona.
Let us pray in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and ever-living God, we thank you for this wonderful day that you have given us. We ask for your presence, Lord, as we gather here today for the conference. Grant us the wisdom and understanding so that we can achieve our objectives for today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Madam Joy.
Okay. Good morning once again. So today, April 11, 2024, here at our procurement conference, we have 8 projects to be rebid. So before we start, may I acknowledge Ruby Vihastro, representative of Jargon Construction and Supply, and Ms. Sharon Alvarez, a representative of EPJ Construction. So please also acknowledge when your name is called, Mr. Ansari Busran, Back Chairman, Chief of Administrative Section, Engineer Raul Intravella, Back Vice Chairman, Chief of Maintenance Section, Engineer Hazel O. Socias, Provisional Member, Chief of Planning and Design Section, Engineer Darrell G. Lumayaga, End User from Construction Section, Engineer Elmer J. Basco, PWG Head from Planning and Design Section, Engineer Rolando L. Durias Jr., PWG Member from Maintenance, Ms. Annalisa B. Inagwas, a PWG Member from Cashier, and yours truly, Engineer Katrina Baraguna, your Head Pack Secretariat. Also, we have Parisa U. Tulusan, a technical staff from EDS, Planning and Design Section. We have also Engineer May Corazo, a technical staff from Planning and Design Section. Yan po sa ating roll call for today, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Potre. So now we'll proceed with the meeting proper, or the debate conference proper. The brief presentation, explanation by the following: A, the basic contract data; B, the requirements of bidding documents; C, documents to be submitted by the bidders; to be presented to us by Madam Potre Baragon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Also acknowledging the presence of Engineer Fernando Mamalu, our back member from Chief of Quality Assurance Section. So, okay, start na tayo. So, number 1, we have 24 MF 0047 with a contract name of Construction of Flood Control Structure along Ala River, Purok, Mabuhay, Barangay Bambad, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Contract location is in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat, with an approved budget for the contract of 48,240,571.70 centavos, with a duration of 171 calendar days. Major category of the work of the contract to be procured is flood control, construction of slope protection using structural measures. The prospective bidder size range required is medium A, license category required is B, And also the allowable rates of contract costs or yung ARCC is up to 150 million. The bid document amount of this project is 25,000 pesos. And number 2, we have 24 MF0048, construction of flood control structure along Ala River, Purok, Prinsipe, Kolambog, Sultan Kudarat. Contract location is in Kolambog, Sultan Kudarat with an approved budget for the contract of 48,238,812 pesos and 24 centavos with a duration of 171 calendar days. Again, a major category of work of the contract to be procured is flood control, construction of slope protection using structural measures. Size range required for the contractor is medium B. License category required for the contractor, medium A. License category required for the contractor is B. And allowable rates of contract cost is up to 150 million. Bid document amount is 25,000 pesos also. So number 3, we have 24 MF0049. Construction of 1-story, 2-classroom school building in Dansuli Elementary School, Barangay Dansuli, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Contract location is in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. With an approved budget for the contract of 4,974,658 pesos and 88 centavos with a duration of 113 calendar days. Major category of work of the contract to be procured is building, construction without piles, low-rise, concrete, 1 to 5 stories. Size range required for the contractor is small b. License category required for the contractor is C and D. Allowable range of the contract cost or yung ARCC is up to 30 million. Ang bid docs amount po natin dito is 5,000 pesos. Number 4 is 24 MF0050, construction of 1-story, 2-classroom school building in Dilutilia Elementary School, Barangay Dilutilia, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Contract location in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat with an ABC of 4,974,658 pesos and 88 centavos with a duration of 113 calendar days. Again, ang major category of work of the contract to be procured is building also. Construction of low-rise without piles. Size range required for the contractor is small b. License category required for the contractor C and D. ARCC of up to 30 million. Ang bid docs amount po natin dito is also 5,000 pesos. Number 5, we have 24 MF0051, construction of 1-story, 2-classroom school building, Lagandang Elementary School, Barangay Lagandang, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Location is in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat, with an approved budget for the contract of 4,974,658 pesos and 88 centavos with a duration of 113 calendar days. Again, major category of the contract to be procured is building. Size range required for the contractor is small b. License category required is C and D. ARCC is up to 30 million. Ang bid document po natin dito is 5,000 pesos only. So, number 6, we have 24 MF0052. Construction of 1-story, 2-classroom school building in President Quirino, National High School, Barangay Poblacion, President Quirino, Sultan Kudarat. Location is in President Quirino, Sultan Kudarat, with an approved budget for the contract of 4,974,658 pesos and 88 centavos with a duration of 113 calendar days. Again, ang major category for of the contract to be procured is building. Size range required small b, license category, CND, ERCC is up to 30 million, bid document amount is 5,000 pesos only. So number 7, we have 24 MF0053, construction of one-story, 2 classroom school building, Kalawag Central Elementary School, Barangay Kalawag 2, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Location is in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat, with an ABC of 4,974,658 pesos and 88 centavos with contract duration of 113 calendar days. Major category of the work is building, construction of buildings. Size range is small b, license category required CND, ERCC up to 30 million. Bid document amount po natin dito is also 5,000 pesos. So last one is 24 MF0054, construction of one-story, 2 classroom school building in Kalawag 3 Elementary School, Barangay Kalawag 3, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Contract location is in Isulan, Sultan Kudarat, with an ABC of 4,974,658 pesos and 88 centavos, with a duration of 113 calendar days. Again, major category of work of the contract to be bid is construction of building. Size range required for the contractor is small b, license category required for the contractor is CND, and allowable range of contract cost is up to 30 million. Bid documents amount natin dito is 5,000 pesos also. So, proceed na po ako dun sa checklist natin. Anyway, ang opening po ng Civil Works na itong project is on April 23, 2024. Dito rin po sa Procurement Conference Room at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, ang reminders po ito sa ating mga prospective bidder. So, we have a Class A document and also Class B document. So, under Class A document, we have the legal documents and technical document. So, our prospective bidders field job registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages should be renewed po yan, hindi siya expired. Registration certificate from the Security and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperative or its equivalent documents. Mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of the business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zone or areas. And tax clearance per EON number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So again, reminder po yung field jobs natin, lahat po nang andyan, yung mga taxes, yung renewal ng taxes ninyo, yung business permit, should all be valid, hindi po sa expired kasi isa lang po doon ang expired, the validity of your field jobs membership will be invalid na po kahit na hindi pa sa expired. So next one is the technical documents. Statement of prospective bidder of its ongoing government and private contract, including contract awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in the nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or yung SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid except under condition provided under the rules and Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of contract to be bid, and original copy of bid security. If in the form of surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration, and project requirement which shall include the following. Number 1 is your organizational chart for the contract to be bid. Number 2 is list of contractors, key personnel, example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineer, and foreman to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. Number 3 is list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of validity of equipment from the equipment lessor vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. And next is original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or yung OSS po natin. And if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do act to present the bidder. So next one is our financial documents. So number 1, the prospective bidders audited financial statement showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total and current asset and liabilities stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and or authorized institution for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission, and the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or yung NFCC. So, yung sa Class B document po natin is applicable for the joint venture. So, if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement or GVA in accordance with RA number 4566 and its IRR in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statement from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provision of JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. So next envelope po natin is the financial component envelope. So number 1, we have there the original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form and other requirements under RA number 9184, original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities and duly accomplished detailed estimate form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in the coming up with the bid. And last one is the cash flow by the quarter. So, yan po Mr. Chair for our reminders and checklist po sa ating mga prospective bidders. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Potri. So we proceed with the presentation, the criteria and procedure for eligibility check. Preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification award to be presented to us by the TWG members. So, si Judge Bay.
Thank you, sir. First is the bid evaluation. Preliminary examination of bids. The BAC will examine first the technical components of the bids using the pass or fail criteria. Ceiling for bid prices. The EPC shall be the upper limit or ceiling for bid prices. There shall be no lower limit to the amount of the award. Bid for the procurement of infrastructure projects. The BAC shall evaluate the financial component of the bid. The bid with the lowest calculated price shall be referred to as the lowest calculated bid. Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. Post-qualification is a stage where the bidder with the lowest calculated bid undergoes verification and validation whether he has passed all the requirements and conditions specified in the bidding documents. If the bidder with the LCB passes all the criteria for post-qualification, his bid shall be considered the lowest calculated responsive bid. In all cases, the contract shall be awarded only to the bidder with the LCRB. Failure of bidding. There should be failure of bidding if no bids are received, no bid qualifies as LCRB, or whenever the bidder with the LCRB refuses without justifiable cause to accept the award of contract as the case may be. Single calculated responsive bid submission. If advertisement, only one prospective bidder submits or applies for eligibility check and meets the eligibility requirements or criteria, after which it submits a bid which is found to be responsive to the bidding requirements. If after the advertisement, more than one prospective bidder applies for eligibility check, but only one bidder meets the eligibility requirement or criteria, after which it submits a bid which is found to be responsive to the bidding requirements. Or, if after the eligibility check, more than one bidder meets the eligibility requirement, but only one bidder submits a bid and its bid is found to be responsive to the bidding requirements. Award. Notice and execution of award. Within a period not exceeding 15 calendar days from the determination and declaration by the back of the LCRB and the recommendation of the award, the hope or his duly authorized representative shall approve or disapprove the said recommendation. In case of approval, the hope or his duly authorized representative shall immediately issue the notice of award to the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid. Within 10 calendar days from the receipt of NOA, the winning bidder shall formally enter into contract with the procuring entity. When further approval of higher authority is required, the approving authority for the contract shall be given a maximum of 20 calendar days to approve or disapprove it. The procuring entity shall issue the notice to proceed to the winning bidder not later than 7 calendar days from the date of approval of the contract by the appropriate authority. All notices called for by the terms of contract shall be effective only at the time of receipt thereof by the contractor. Points to remember: submit bid on or before the date and time specified in the invitation to bid. Counter-check your documents as to correctness and completeness before submission. ABC should be sealing for the contract cost, and envelopes A and B should be properly separated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, George. So now we'll proceed with the clarification, explanation of the scope, specification of the project to be presented to us by Engineer Merime E. Corazo, technical staff, and Parisha U. Cardozo, technical staff.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. For the flood control projects, first is the construction of flood control structure along Ala River, Purok, Prinsipe, Kolambog, Sultan Kudarat. Station limits 0 plus 700 to 1,026 with a length of 336 linear feet. For the summary of quantities, Part 1, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for engineer, rental basis only, and the provision of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer on their rental basis only. Part 2, other general requirements. The project billboard or signboard, and the occupational safety and health program, the mobilization and demobilization. Part 3, earthworks, the structure excavation of the common soil and the embankment from barrow, which is the limestone. Plain and reinforced concrete works, the concrete slope protection, reinforcing steel grade 40 and grade 60, minor structure, structural concrete class A, minor structure, and the concrete joint sealant. Part 5 for the piling, the structural steel sheet piles furnished and driven, and 1 kilometer post for the end. For the typical revetment section, we have the back-to-back concrete slope protection, one for the bank side and river side. For the capping, on the river side, we have the dimension of 0.5 meters by 0.5 meters, which is included in the minor structure of concrete structure class A. And on the bank side, ganun din po, included din siya sa minor structure ng concrete, dimension of 1.5 meter by 0.3 meters. And for the steel, kasali din po siya sa minor structure ng steel, grade 40. We will be using the hot roll Z-type steel sheet piles with a gross length of 6 meter and net length of 5.7 meters, with a width of 770 mm and height of 343.50 mm, with a thickness of 8.6 or 8.5 mm. So this is the sample of the kilometer post on the end of the project. Isa lang po ang kailangan dito. For the concrete slope section details, we have the height of 3 meter and width of 3 meter. Slope is 1:1 and the crest width is 4 meters. For the second project of flood control, the construction of flood control structure along Ala River, Purok Mabuhay, Barangay Bambad, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Station limits 0+00 to 0+300. Net length is 300 linear meter. For the concrete slope, one side lang po tayo ngayon. And the crest width is 4 meters. Embankment po pala natin is limestone for the both projects. Summary of quantities, Part 1, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for engineer, rental basis only, the provision of 4x4 pickup type service vehicle for the engineer on bare rental basis only. Project billboard or signboard for the other general requirements, occupational safety and health program, mobilization and demobilization, detour and access road. For the earthworks, embankment from Barrow, plain and reinforced concrete works, concrete slope protection, reinforcing steel grade 40 and grade 60 minor structure, structural concrete class A for minor structure, concrete joint sealant for hot pool elastic pipe. For the piling, we have structural steel sheet piles furnished and driven. Miscellaneous works, kilometer post. This project will be using also the hot rolled Z-type steel sheet piles with gross length of 6 meter, net length of 5.7, and width of 770 mm, height of 343.5 mm, and thickness of 8.6 and 8.5 mm. For the concrete slope section details, steel, 3 meters pa rin ang width and height, and the crest width is taas is 4 meters. And capping of 0.5 meter by 0.5 meter. Same lang po yung kilometer post natin, pero dalawa na po siya sa project na ito. And this is the end protection isometric view for the Purok Mabuhay project. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Purazo. So next presenter, we have Engineer Taluza.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to present the construction of one-story, two-classroom school building. This will be the perspective for the floor, roof, and ceiling plan. The elevation of the project. Front elevation, rear elevation, left side elevation, right side elevation. Note that the toilet and hand washing is not included in the program. For the construction of one-story, two-classroom school building in Dansuli Elementary School, Barangay Dansuli, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Site development plan and vicinity map. For the summary of quantities, we have part 1, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis. For part 2, other general requirements, project billboard and signboard, occupational safety and health, permits and clearances. For part 3, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. For part A, earthworks, removal of structure and obstructions, structure excavation, embankment from structure excavation, embankment from borrow, gravel field. For part B, we have plain and reinforced concrete works, structural concrete for footing tie beam, column, suspended slab, girder, and beam, class A, 4,000 PSI at 28 days. For structural concrete for slab on field, class A, 2,500 PSI at 28 days. Reinforcing steel, grade 40 and 60. Forms and false works. For the finishing, 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel, 150 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel. For fabricated materials, we have jalousie window, glass, wooden doors, window accessory with window grills, finishing hardware, lock sets, carpentry and joinery works, blackboard, air vent. For finishing works, part C.4, we have precast concrete molding, plain cement plaster finish, railings and handrails, fiber cement board ceiling on metal frame, reflective insulation, cement base waterproofing. For the painting works, we have masonry, wood, and metal painting. For roof framing and roofing works, we have brick painted metal sheets, long span, corrugated, 0.4 mm thick, fabricated metal roofing accessories, ridge roll, flashing with 0.4 mm thick, structural steel trusses, purlins. We have metal structure accessories, steel plates, sub rods, cross bracing, turnbuckle, and bolts. For the plumbing and sanitary works, we have downspout or storm drainage, and catch basin. For the electrical, we have conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring device, panel boards, lighting fixtures, and lamps. For the construction of one-story, two-classroom school building in Dilotilia Elementary School, Barangay Dilotilia, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. For the site development plan and vicinity map. For the summary of quantities, for the facilities for the engineer, we have provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis, other general requirements, project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, permits and clearances. For part 2, we have civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. For earthworks, we have removal of structure and obstructions, structure excavation, embankment from structure excavation, embankment from borrow, gravel fill. For plain and reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete for footing tie beam, column, suspended slab, girder beam, Class A 4,000 PSI at 28 days. Structural concrete for slab on fill, Class A 2,500 PSI at 28 days. We have reinforcing steel, grade 40 and 60, forms and falls works. For the masonry works, we have 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall, including reinforcing steel, 150 mm CHP non-load bearing wall, including reinforcing steel. For fabricated materials, we have jalousie window, glass, wooden doors, wooden accessories, window grills, finishing hardware, lock sets, carpentry and joinery works, we have blackboard and airgun. For finishing works, we have precast concrete molding, plain cement plaster finish, railings or handrails, fiber cement board ceiling on metal frame, reflective insulation, cement-based waterproofing. For painting works, we have masonry, wood, and metal paint. Roof framing and roofing works, we have pre-painted metal sheets, long span corrugated 0.4 mm thick. For fabricated metal roofing accessory, we have bridge roll and flashing. For structural steels, trusses, purlins. Metal structure accessories, we have steel plates, sub-rods, cross bracing, turnbuckle, and bolts. For the plumbing and sanitary works, we have downspout storm drain, catch basin. For the electrical, conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring device, panel board, lighting fixtures, and lamps. For the construction of one-story, two-classroom school building in Calawag 3 Elementary School, Barangay Calawag 3, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. For the site development plan of the project and vicinity map. Summary of quantities, we have facilities for the engineers, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis. Part 2, other general requirements, we have project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, permits and clearances. For Part 3, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. For earthworks, we have removal of structure and obstructions, structure excavation, embankment from structure excavation, embankment from borrow, gravel fill. For plain and reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete for footing tie beam, column, suspended slab, girder beam, Class A 4,000 PSI at 28 days. We have structural concrete for slab on fill, Class A 2,500 PSI at 28 days. Reinforcing steel, grade 40 and 60, forms and folds works. For masonry works, we have 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall, including reinforcing steel, 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall, including reinforcing steel. Fabricated materials, we have jalousie window, glass, wooden doors, window accessories or window grills, finishing hardwares, lock sets, carpentry and joinery works, blackboard and airwood. Finishing works, we have precast concrete molding, plain cement plaster finish, railings, handrails, fiber cement board ceiling on metal frame, reflective insulation, cement-based waterproofing. For painting works, we have masonry, wood, and metal painting. Roof framing and roofing works, we have pre-painted metal sheets, long span corrugated 0.4 mm thick. Fabricated metal roofing accessories, we have ridge rolls and flashing. For structural steel, trusses and purlins, metal structure accessories, steel plates, sub-rods, cross bracing, turnbuckle, bolts. For plumbing and sanitary works, we have downspout storm drain, catch basin, and we have electrical, conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring device, panel board, lighting fixtures, and lamps. For the construction of one-story, two-classroom school building in President Quirino National High School, Barangay Poblacion, President Quirino, Sultan Kudarat. This is the site development plan and the vicinity map. For the summary of quantities, we have Part 1, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis. Part 2, other general requirements, project billboard signboard, occupational safety and health, permits and clearances. For Part 3, we have civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. For earthworks, removal of structure and obstructions, structure excavation, embankment for structure excavation, embankment from borrow, gravel field. For plain and reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete for footing, footing tie beam, column, suspended slab, girder beam, Class A 4,000 PSI at 28 days. Structural concrete for slab on field, Class A 2,500 PSI at 28 days. Reinforcing steel, grade 40 and 60, forms and false works. For finishing, we have masonry works, 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel, and 150 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel. For fabricated materials, we have jalousie window glass, wooden doors, window accessories, window grills, finishing hardwares, lock sets, carpentry and joinery works, blackboard, airbed. Finishing works, we have precast concrete molding, plain cement plaster finish, railings, handrails, fiber cement board ceiling on metal frame, reflective insulation, cement-based waterproofing. Painting works, we have masonry, wood and metal painting. Roof framing and roof works, we have pre-painted metal sheets, long span, corrugated, 0.4 mm thick, fabricated metal roofing accessories, we have ridge roll and flashing. Structural steel, we have trusses and purlins. Metal structure accessories, we have steel plates, sub rods, cross bracing, turnbuckle, and bolts. For the plumbing and sanitary works, we have downspout or stern drain and catch fixing. For Part E, we have electrical, conduit boxes and fittings, wires and wiring device, panel board, lighting fixtures, and lamps. For the construction of one-story, two-classroom school building in Calawag Central Elementary School, Barangay Calawag 2, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. This will be the site development plan and the vicinity map. For the summary of quantities, for Part 1, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis. For Part 2, other general requirements, project billboard signboard, occupational safety and health, permits and clearances. For Part 3, we have civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works, earthworks, removal of structure and obstructions, structure excavation, embankment from structure excavation, embankment from borrow, gravel field. Plain and reinforced concrete works, structural concrete for footing, footing tie beam, column, suspended slab or girder and beam. Class A, 4,000 PSI at 28 days. Structural concrete for slab on field, Class A, 2,500 PSI at 28 days. Reinforcing steel, we have grade 40 and grade 60. Forms and false works. For masonry works, we have 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel, 150 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel. Fabricated materials, we have jalousie window glass, wooden doors, window accessories, window grills, finishing hardware, lock set, carpentry and joinery works, blackboard, airbed. For finishing works, we have precast concrete molding, plain cement plaster finish, railings, handrails, fiber cement board ceiling on metal frame, reflective insulation, cement-based waterproofing. For painting works, we have masonry, wood, and metal painting. Roof framing and roofing works, we have pre-painted metal sheets, long span, corrugated, 0.4 mm thick. Fabricated metal roofing accessories, we have ridge roll and flashing. Structural steel, we have trusses and purlins. Metal structure accessories, we have steel plates, sag rods, cross bracing, turnbuckle, and bolts. For plumbing and sanitary works, we have downspout, storm drain, catch basing. For electrical, we have conduits, boxes and fittings, wires and wiring devices, panel board, lighting fixtures, and lamps. Construction of one-story, two-classroom school building in Lagandang Elementary School, Barangay Lagandang, Isulan, Sultan Kudarat. Site development and vicinity map. Summary of quantities for Part 1, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis, other general requirements, project billboard, signboard, occupational safety and health, permits and clearances. For Part 3, civil, mechanical, electrical, and sanitary plumbing works. Part 8, earthworks, we have removal of structure and obstructions, structure excavation, embankment from structure excavation, embankment from borrow, and gravel field. For Part B, plain and reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete for footing, footing tie-in, columns, suspended slab, girder, or beam. Class A, 4,000 PSI at 28 days. Structural concrete for slab on field, Class A, 2,500 PSI at 28 days. Reinforcing steel, grade 40 and grade 60. Forms and forms works. For finishing, we have masonry works. We have 100 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel, 150 mm CHP non-load bearing wall including reinforcing steel. Fabricated materials with jalousie window, glass, wooden doors, window accessories, window grills, finishing hardwares, lock sets, carpentry and joinery works, blackboard, airwell. For finishing works, we have precast concrete molding, plain cement plaster finish, railings, handrails, fiber cement board sealing on metal frame, reflective insulation, cement-based waterproofing. For painting works, we have masonry, wood and metal painting. Roof framing and roofing works, we have pre-painted metal sheets, long span, corrugated, 0.4 mm thick, fabricated metal roofing accessories, ridge rolls and flashing, structural steel trusses and purlins, metal structure accessories, steel plates, sag rods, cross bracing, turnbuckle, and bolts. For plumbing and sanitary works, we have downspout and storm drain, catch basin, electrical, conduit, boxes and fittings, wires and wiring device, panel board, lighting fixtures and lamps. That's all of me.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Taluza and Engineer Corazon for this presentation. So now we'll proceed with the comments and questions from the contractor's representative. Ma'am, do you have any question, comment? Okay, none. So our members of the back, do you have any query or question? DWG, head of the secretariat. Okay, sa ating mga viewers, if you have, just write in our comment section, no, so that we will address your query. So we have no supplemental bulletin issued. So since there is none question, this private conference is adjourned. Thank you very much.